Hello everyone, we're going to be checking the hives today. My brother and I were up in the boundary waters for the last week. So it's been 8 days since we put the honey supers on. We're going to see what is going on inside. Nothing really outside of just checking to make sure that everything looks healthy, see if we need anything. Special helper today, this is Ben. This is Matt's other boy. So he's got the bee suit on. Matt, if you want to pan over, Jack is here. We don't have a suit for him, but we got a net, and he'll stay a ways away just as we start working with the hive. And then as you see this field here, all this coming up is wild raspberry. So when this flowers out, it's gonna be really interesting to see how the bees react to that. I also planted some wildflowers down here, and I think a couple of them are coming up. So it's gonna be really, really cool down here. So Ben, are you ready to open them up? Mm-hmm. All right, let's get to it. So we just took the cover off. This is the inner cover, and I already saw some bees up here. And this looks excellent. Let's see if they're doing anything more towards the patty, since there's kind of a greater number.
I can hear it like...
Yeah, do you want to see what they look like closer? See?
Oh.
Pretty cool, huh? Yeah.
I see these ones. The queen bee has to be in this, and it's not in that.
Well, there's a queen in both of these hives. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this off. Chances are they've attached the queen excluder to the bottom, which I just kind of popped free.
Where's the queen?
So we just took the honey super off, the queen excluder as well. And what I'm doing now, okay, this is looking good. They're really starting to draw this one out. I'm gonna take and just set this one aside here. And again, we're probably a little early on that honey super. So we'll get in here just a little bit. So this is 3 frames in. Hey Ben, you wanna see the difference between a female and a male bee? And you see all that shiny stuff? That's honey, but see that big one right there? That's a male bee. That's the boy. They don't even have a stinger. They fly, and they're the ones that mate with the queen, and then the queen can lay a whole bunch of eggs.
And then baby bees.
That's right. Gonna take a look. I'm interested to see if we have any. Aha, we do. Some brood. What do we look like over here? Some more brood. So let's take a look and see if we can find the queen. Okay. So this is the lower frame, the outermost one.
I think they're getting louder.
So there's some honey in there, which I'm okay with. And I'm going to take and set this one down.
Can I try this now?
You can just, don't pick it up, but you can just squeeze the little.
How do you like?
You know what, why don't you just wait, Ben?
How do you shoot it? Because I want to shoot some sneaky. Or do you not? There's bees everywhere. Can I go on Daddy's side?
Sure.
There's so many over here.
We're really calm today. All right, so now I'm really gonna look, turn this towards the sun. These are not filled in here, so I think this one might have just hatched. Let's keep an eye out for the queen here.
Is the queen really big?
They have different stages.
What's
And
that they're eating?
looked like a queen cup, but it's not. Just a little bit of silly comb. Okay, there's some drone brood. I don't see any. Oh, a whole bunch of net. You want to get real close on that? Look at all that nice yellow pollen. All right, we're gonna open up the other hive. This is the hive that has just kind of been textbook for me. The one over here, like I was saying, it just seems a little chaotic. I'm learning a lot from that hive. This one here though is kind of like, as you read books and everything like that, it's just really kind of setting up exactly how they should. What? So when you set frames back in, you want to make sure you do it kind of slow so you don't roll any bees or squish them. What I'm going to do, I'm going to turn this just a little, and I'm going to lift this off, and we're going to set this right here. You see here, bees have no issue moving between frames, or I'm sorry, between the queen excluder. And I'm going to take and I'm going to set this right over here. So right away, I mean, just the level of calm with this hive is just awesome. Right here is a drone, right at the end of my you can just see if he comes back up here, you'll be able to look at his eyes. Their eyes are always much bigger, much more round. But just look at how calm these are. So I'm going to inspect this one just from a little bit on this other side here. So I'm going to start. I'm going to push that a little bit. This little J-hook has a notch on it. It works really well to get underneath, and it allows you to kind of lift up on it. So let's see what we're looking like here. The outermost frame.
I'm not getting stung.
Looking really nice. This is all nectar. Again, I don't have any sugar water on it anymore. So potentially that's still some of the sugar water that I brought in. Otherwise, that's actually honey. So this one here, full of bees. I could shake this. Now this is interesting. They're kind of balling up right. Try not to squish them here. They're balling up quite a bit in here. So I just want to make sure, just kind of looking underneath it, see if the queen's in there or what's kind of going on here. I'm going to take and just set this frame right here. So we didn't see the queen up here, but we had a couple, like almost 4 frames of brood. Beautiful pattern. And then it was honey on both sides. So what I did is I moved one of the frames from the outside that was just starting to draw, and I moved it in and I moved a frame of honey out. That, like I said, the queen won't normally go outside of the honey. So you don't want them to get honey bound. So again, this hive, I'm actually considering doing a split. I need to make sure that there's not gonna be too many bees, otherwise they're gonna swarm on me. So I'm gonna open this up. I said we didn't find the queen, so I'm gonna take this, and this is quite heavy. Again, they seal everything together. So I wanna make sure it's loose first, and then I'm just gonna transfer this over for now. So now what I wanna do is I wanna take a look down here. I'm gonna give them a little bit of smoke, but I mean, just looking at the number of bees, I would say that probably weighed 60 to 70 pounds there. Again, there was a lot of nectar and honey in that one. Also a lot of drones. This hive is absolutely calm. They really haven't minded me messing with them at all. So I'm gonna push these frames over, use my little J hook. I can go from either side, here or here. And then what I'll do is I'll hook it in, and then I want to lift this one up. The first one is always a little bit more difficult to get out. Honey, and then you see the different colorations. That's all that beautiful pollen that they're bringing in. On top it's capped. That's the nectar or the honey, depending if it was the sugar water or whatnot. So I'm going to take this, and I always like to work in the same direction so that I can somewhat remember what I'm doing and how to put them back. And outside of intentionally moving frames around, you want to keep them in the same order. All right, so what I'm seeing here, I see some drone brood on the bottom. Let's see what we're looking at here. Okay, so I see some open cells down here. That's what I like to see. Up top, like I said, there wasn't a whole lot open, and I'm hoping that my queen is going back and forth and is able to have enough room to continue to lay. It's about noon today. A little bit of wind, but nothing really to speak of. This frame has a little bit of everything. Has some honey, has some capped brood, same over here. And now what I'm seeing, man, if you can get really, really close and try to maintain the sun, you'll see little white dots in there. They look like almost like little pieces of rice. Those are eggs. Those are laid within 3 days. So that's a really good sign that my queen is alive, or at least she was alive within the last 3 days. So I really want to inspect this frame, even though she's probably not here because she's already been here. Wow, okay. This other side, let me show you the other side of this frame. Absolutely covered in capped brood. Oh. That is a queen cell on the bottom. See that hanging down there? So now it's on the bottom side. So what I need to look out for is if I see a whole bunch of those, that's going to be swarm cells. Now that one's not capped. There's nothing in it. Okay, we got both hives locked back down. This one here is probably going to swarm. We were gone for a week. The queen in here is just nuts. She has so much brood laid down. If it was last week, or if I would have seen it, or even if I would have went down in the bottom chamber on my last inspection, I might have been able to see it, but they have quite a few swarm cells down there. We saw a couple that were already capped, so we're probably near it. My next job now is going to be to start and set up possibly a swarm trap, or keep my eyes out to see if any swarms are here. Got a really good relationship with the neighbors. I'll let them know, hey, if you see some swarms, let me know. Chances are it's going to be from this hive. Again, I could have prevented that by splitting them sooner. I didn't have it. It's not a big deal. It is a big deal in some sense, depending on what you're doing. I kind of like it, just from the standpoint of just kind of seeing how they spread out, reproduce, things like that. So we'll keep a real close eye on this hive. This hive over here didn't have any indication. Again, it's a little bit more scattered over here, but they're doing good. This hive is extremely strong to the point where they're probably going to swarm. With that said, stay in touch. This is Z's Bees. We create YouTube videos, and we have something that Mr. Ben wants to say, so y'all got to pay real close attention.
Please subscribe to These Bees. Hit that little bell button.